Almost 21 minutes past 8. There's been a sharp rise in the number of people asking for help from Citizens Advice because they feel they've been unfairly evicted from rented accommodation.
Yes, it says there's been a 20% increase in the number of people needing help after being forced to move out.
It also says 1 in every 3 privately rented properties do not meet the government decent home standard.
Meanwhile, the housing charity Shelter says there were more than 200,000 so-called revenge evictions last year, where tenants are forced out after complaining to their landlord about problems in their property.
Well, this Friday, Parliament will debate a new law, or legislation certainly, which would strengthen tenants' rights. Is it necessary? Let's talk to Campbell Robb from the charity Shelter and Chris Tam, who's Vice Chairman of the Residential Landlords Association and is a landlord himself. Good morning to you both. Campbell, let me start with you. You're talking about 200,000 people being evicted in revenge evictions, but actually that's an extrapolation, isn't it? Because that's what you've drawn from a survey of how many tenants?
Nearly 4,500 tenants. It's a very
so it's
big
an estimate.
Indeed it is. And what it is, there's two things here. There are people who face this. They complain to their landlord about something small. It can be a leak. It's something very big about gas or electrical safety, and suddenly they find evicted. What we also see every day at Shelter coming into our helpline and to our offices is people who want to complain but are worried about losing their home. And that's why it's really important that this law comes in place. There's a small number of landlords. Many landlords aren't doing this type of thing, but there's a small number of landlords who really do take this kind of action, and you just can't be living in fear of losing your home just for complaining to get things better.
So, Chris Town, how will this affect the scrupulous landlords?
Well, I'd first like to challenge this figure of 200,000. It's not actually 200,000 evictions. It's 200,000 people who may be in fear of being evicted if they make a complaint about a repair. And I think that Cameron would agree with that. So the actual figure of evictions is much lower than that. In fact, there's no actual measure of this. Government or local authorities don't hold any statistics on this.
But it's something you're aware of. It does happen.
It does happen. I'm not here to defend people that take revenge on tenants for making a complaint. But let's be clear, most landlords, or all landlords actually, if they have a good tenant, don't want to evict a tenant. It's expensive, it takes time, and actually, why would you want to evict somebody who's paying the rent and looking after the property? So there could be other issues behind this that we're not aware of.
We've had a lot of messages from people who said they've had problems. Simon's been in touch this morning to say he's just been evicted because after asking the landlord to make repairs, there was a problem with sewage, a leaky roof that later collapsed, subsiding walls and more. He's asking, where are the laws that protect law-abiding tenants? But there is a law already, surely.
The law is just not an enforceable law. It doesn't work at the moment. We've got advisors and people helping tenants all the time, and we just can't make this happen. This is quite a simple law that really makes it clear that landlords cannot evict people if there's a serious complaint and there's a serious issue, and that's what's important. And what we're seeing is families making a horrible choice. They have to choose between their kids living in a damp property, and if they complain, they might actually lose that home. So we're looking to Parliament and MPs just to give us this simplicity and clarity and make sure that we can challenge bad landlords to stop this happening.
Lots of emails coming in are suggesting that landlords simply have too much power.
Well, of course, they would say that, but last summer in June, the CMA ruled that tenants were deemed to be consumers and landlords are businesses, and because of that then tenants are now protected by consumer protection laws. So to deal with this problem of illegal eviction, Shelter could advise its clients of this fact, and they could get protection of the law if there's been an unscrupulous landlord trying to evict them.
Someone else has written in to say that in the Netherlands, no landlords can end a tenancy except for more than 3 months rent arrears or criminal damage. Could that work here? Is that correct?
Well, this bill would make it very clear that landlords couldn't evict if their property was in a really bad state of disrepair, and that's what's important. We really are. We've got a rental market that's grown massively in the last few years, and what we have to do is make it fit for purpose. This law will help tenants, and it won't stop landlords getting rid of tenants who aren't paying their rent.
Campbell Robb, Chris Tan, thank you both very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for your messages this morning as well.
Coming up,